You're listening to the All Burgundy and Go Errything Commanders pregame show powered by the Urban Sports Scene and Fox Sports Radio 96.9 FM and 1340 AM, Hopewell, Virginia. It's Saturday night, and the Washington Commanders are in the NFC Divisional round of the NFL playoffs. In about an hour or so, the Commanders will be taking on the NFC number one seed, the Detroit Lions. I'm Waller, and I'm joined by my guy, George, the homie Glenn. It's running a little late, but we'll have him on. What's going on, George?
Just got to get home in time because I was watching. I was deeply embedded in an A10 game that went overtime, and then on top of all that, I'm kind of cheesed off because the refs have absolutely robbed the Texans, and I'm just livid right now. If the Texans lose, they've been robbed. I don't care what anyone says, and I want everybody out in the audience to listen to me. Anybody that tries to defend what the referees did on that unnecessary reference call is anybody that will defend anything the NFL does, and you should never listen to them again after that.
Look, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I haven't even watched any football. Only football I care about is happening around 8 o'clock. I won't even lie to y'all, man. I don't even care about any football by 8 o'clock. That's only game that matters to me.
Basketball for me today.
I respect that. I respect that. Before we talk about the game that has my emotions in a knot, let's knock out some logistics. First, subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and other podcast platforms. Just search All Burgundy and Go Errything. Tweet us at ABG_Errything. Hit us up on IG and TikTok at ABG_Errything. Also on YouTube, if you're on YouTube right now, hit that like button right now. Also, folks, if you haven't, subscribe to our All Burgundy and Go Errything YouTube channel. Hit that red subscribe button and be part of the team. If you're feeling real generous or feeling real froggy, hey, hit us up with a super chat on YouTube, and we'll definitely prioritize your comment. Our pregame is also being streamed on the Urban Sports Scene X handle, so make sure you hit us up on X as well. You can view us there. Also give the Urban Sports Scene a follow as well. And also this is also being streamed on the Bowie TV YouTube channel. So also hit them with hit that red subscribe button. Also like this video up on there as well. Hey, anyway, it's time for the rundown. Here's what we have on tap. We'll chat with Bowie TV's Commanders reporter Candi Waller. She'll be joining us live from Ford Field. We'll also talk about the keys for Commanders' victory and provide our predictions. You already know what time it is for me. And then finally, we'll select our Commanders fantasy football selection for the night. All right, I wasn't going to say the day for the night because it's a night game, folks. But all right, man. Let me introduce one of the main reporters out here in the DMV, the main reporter for the Commanders. Like, you know what I mean? One of the people who really hold it down. Live from Ford Field, we got Bowie TV's Commanders reporter Candi Waller on. What is going on, Candi?
Hey, y'all. I don't have an ice cream machine behind me tonight.
No, I see you just got the remote. You just chilling with the wall. She got the wall.
It's just a wall back there.
Hey, Paul's like, what's up?
Hello.
Paul, my man Paul says he's so relaxed as well. Cam, what's going on? Killer Cam says, yo, I'm hyped. Yeah, Cam, I'm trying to chill my hypeness but I'm already semi shaking in the belly of my beast. So yeah, I'm hyped. Santiago says, what's up, guys? Let's get this W, man. I'm with you, bro. It's time. Yeah, it's that time. But Candy, let's just hit it real quick in terms of inactives, man. I mean, Paul hit me up earlier about one, but what are some of your notable actives and inactives?
I mean, I think it's something that we talked about all week, right? It's Chris Rodriguez is inactive, and I'm like, okay, all right, okay. Yeah. Hey, he was inactive last week, and they won, so I'm not going, all right. I'm just going to trust people that get paid to do this. Mm-hmm. So, all right, okay, and I'm not going to worry about that. But that is the biggest surprise, right? There was a couple of moves around on the roster earlier today. Andre Jones Jr. was brought up from the practice squad, but he is inactive. Okay. I mean, we'll see. I think another thing that is just something to just keep your eye on, because I know a couple of people asked me last week, why was Chris Moore playing, is that KJ Osborne is inactive again, and Chris Moore has not been. I think that's just a user clue. It's just interesting.
Yeah, right. It is.
So I just Chris Rodriguez Jr. is probably the biggest shock.
Yeah.
And I can't say shock. I can't really say shock, right? Because we know what they did last week in a playoff game, but it was more something that I would have liked to see be different. But hey, again, I don't get paid to do this, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's like you said, man. Like you always say, man. Use your clues in terms of. Look, I mean, he didn't play that last game of the season, and to me, if you ain't played the last game of the season, where it was a game, in essence, a meaningless game, like you're probably not going to play in the postseason. You know what I mean? So, and like you all, like I want him out there. I think he deserves to be out there, but it is what it is. This staff is comfortable with the guys they got. We got Glenn in the building, man. What's going on, Glenn?
What's up, y'all?
What's going on, bro? All right, so, but I would like to have Chris out there, man. Paul's like, his inactive is personal because it's not his play. Yeah, his play's been good. It's something.
I agree with Paul.
I don't know. They may just like the other guys better. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it's personal at all.
Yeah.
I think they're putting forward their best available talent.
Yeah.
Based on the situation.
Yeah.
They believe that their best available talent. I do not think it's personal at all because they love Chris. But there's not enough roster spots. It's not personal. It's you know, I'm just gonna say this. I know that we're used to a type of brand of culture around here. These people are not like that.
Got you. Not with you.
Ain't nothing personal.
Yeah. If anybody want
Nothing is personal.
If everybody want Chris, who would you replace him with, though? I mean,
I personally, I would replace him with. Nichols hasn't been that good since it hasn't been that good for me. Like he hasn't done anything since the games that we remember. That one game we remember, he hasn't done anything for real. So for me, it'd be McNichols. But like Candi said, like, and I've said this, it may not be personal. They may just like the other dudes more, and that's fair. And that's fine. It's about preference.
Yeah, I think it's based on play design. I think it's based on plan, and it's just based on this is who we think is going to give us the best option, based on the opponent. They love Chris. So
yeah, George, you can take the next one, George.
What's the situation with Deron Payne? He comes out of the game last week, and I don't think came back in with that finger injury.
He came back.
He came back.
He came back.
Oh, he did come back in the game. Okay, because he was out for a while. I didn't think he'd come back in the game. What's Deron Payne's situation for this week?
He playing. He was full in practice all week. You know, this divisional round. Hey, if you need a new finger, I guess you get it in the non-season.
Is he gonna wear like a cast or something? Is he? Oh, he's.
Let me stop.
No, I'm with you. Is he gonna wear like a cast though?
He's had one on.
He has had one on. Okay.
He's had one on, but he's been full in practice all week.
Okay.
So he's been practicing with it and everything going on, but it was pretty ugly. It's pretty nasty. So
the injury, yeah. That's why it's kind of.
Hey, this is the second season. So
everybody want to be involved, man. Money man. Everybody want to be involved. Nobody wants to sit on the sideline, right?
Facts.
Everybody want to be part of the win.
Not for this.
Hey, you see how Jonathan Allen came back? I'm just still surprised by that. You got to know what it is.
Yo, when teams are winning, I've learned this as a coach. When I learned this as a coach, when teams are winning, everybody get healed quicker.
Everybody.
When you're winning, everybody get healed quicker. Them injuries don't feel the same. When everybody cooking everybody else's name in the paper, you want to see yours in the lights as well.
You know, I had a conversation to that point with Jamison Crowder. This is a few weeks ago. This after he had that big game. What was that? Against Philly, the second game? Philly?
Yeah,
right?
Philly was a big game, yeah.
And I was talking to him, and I was just like, just talking to him about that, exactly what you were saying. And I was like, his team was getting better and better every week. I know you were excited for him, but then you want to be out there. He said, why you think I worked as hard as I did to get back?
Facts.
So you want to be a part of this? You want to be a part of it. It's nothing like being in the game. Nothing like it. So unless it's broken, like somebody asked me the other day when Bobby Wagner was in practicing, they were like, is Bobby going to play on Saturday? I said, is it broken? They said no. I said, all right then. He'll be out there.
Facts.
Because I'll be daggone. You can hear all that booing.
Yeah.
I'm cool. The commander just came out on the field.
Okay. That's booing? Oh, screw them.
That's booing. That is booing right there.
These are the same fans they used to boo for their team just 3 years ago.
That's screw them, man.
Let's not forget this team did go 0-16. I mean, not this team, but
I know the team. I know that team went 0-16. Actually, I had one of my friends.
I had a buddy on that team.
I had a friend on that team. Yeah, that team was. That's the team with Brady. Was Joe Brady on that squad?
Joe Barry.
Joe Barry's
Barry
defensive, defensive coach, right? Yeah,
yep.
I know about that team.
And then he was Washington's defensive coordinator.
No, I know about that team a lot. But, I know about that team a lot.
Yeah,
but yeah, I'm with you. Like, I'm with you. Like, when you're winning and you got a chance to do something special, all hands on deck. And if you feel like you're better than the backup and you feel like you can help this team, and all these athletes have an ego. They feel like even hurt, they're better than their backup. You know what I mean? They feel like they can do better and help this team. So yeah, I expect like people like Jameson Crowder. I expect people like that, definitely like Jonathan Allen, who's come back from an injury. I thought he was out for the season. Deron Payne, we saw that injury. That injury looked horrible. For him to come back in that game shows his toughness and his want to help this team. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you're not playing. The money doesn't matter anymore, right? That's not a money thing. That's a pride thing. That's just to help your, the brotherhood, right? The term they like to use, right? So, I think, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised of any of that. Hey,
everybody's got to use their clues too. They see how they done replace people throughout the season.
That too.
Yeah. Next man up mentality, right? Nobody want to be.
People getting them right on off the. Hey, you can be replaced now. You should be replaced. And that's what they are doing easily. So
you know what? That makes people perform better when you can be replaced. Everybody, when you're an employee, people can replace you. You come to work, right? When you're a player, one thing a player has is playing time. One thing a coach can take away is playing time, right?
Facts.
And so when you know somebody else is next to the one who's chopping at the bit to get on the field, right? Who's chopping on the bit and who makes less money than you. Right, and it can probably perform just as better than you. Hey, but Candi, this has been a short week for the Commanders. Do you think this can hinder the team? How consistently has everything been, even though it's been a short week?
They moved up their practice days, so everything they would do is a day early. Right? So they didn't necessarily get a lot more rest and recovery, if that makes sense. A lot more, still like kind of subjective. But so what they would normally do on Wednesday, they did Tuesday. Thursday's practice was Wednesday's practice. I don't even know. The Lions.
I know. I can tell. I know it's them. I can tell it's them. I can tell it's the Lions.
So everything was a day up. So recovery might have been a little bit more intense, right? But the practice schedule was still the same. But that gives you a little smaller, shorter of a window to really recover. But that's a little more aggressive. You still have the same process, but it's a lot more aggressive, if that makes sense.
Yeah, hopefully, like they're fresh. Obviously, Lions are the team, the advantage. They got the number 1 seed, so folks shouldn't feel sorry for us. It's not that type. It shouldn't be that type of look, because again, they're the number 1 seed. But yeah, I was hoping we had the Sunday game. I'm not gonna lie. For some strange reason, I was hoping we have a Sunday game because we played on Sunday night. But I get it, I get it. I understand.
It's actually interesting that the team did.
I know.
Because I thought, I didn't necessarily think that. I didn't know what to expect. I thought that maybe the Ravens Bills would have been tonight.
I was thinking that initially, yeah.
And the Commanders just would have been on Sunday. You know what I mean? I thought it was interesting that Everything just interested to me.
No, with you.
Part of it's got to be that they knew they were putting Houston, Kansas City at 4:30.
Probably
on Saturday.
But I didn't know why. Because Kansas City is, you know what I mean?
It's not a big.
Because that's the least. That's the least.
Which is interesting.
Splashy game.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why I find that to be very interesting. But
I would, yeah.
I'm saying,
yeah.
It's still Kansas City.
Yeah, that too.
On there, so,
yeah, and Patrick Mahomes is supposed to be the face of the league, right? Supposed to be.
Well,
not this year.
I'm just saying, like, if you're talking about how it's supposed to be, it's supposed to be.
The bell of the ball right now is Jay Daniels.
Yeah.
There you go. Absolutely right, Andy.
See, when you deal with a Kansas City game, you got to deal with a Taylor Swift situation. Nobody was tired. People are tired of seeing that.
Yeah, we ain't doing it. I'm not gonna make this show a Taylor Swift show. We're not gonna do that.
No, I'm just saying though. You got to look at it though.
All right, making this show a Taylor
if you look at not making this a Taylor Swift show, but if you look at the headlines today, when you pull it up, they talk about Taylor Swift and Caitlin Clark being together. Why? Really, when you pull up the headlines.
I guess, but I thought it was interesting. But you know what? Again, they had the home field advantage. They the number 1 seed, so in essence, it does work out for them, and it's supposed to work out for them. That's how you're supposed to set it
No,
up.
I mean they're supposed to have the biggest advantage, and they do.
Yeah, I just thought from a time perspective because Kansas City, they're in Kansas City, right? Yeah. So I just thought they 2 hours behind the Eastern time. So I was like, okay, they'll make them the later game just because it'll be earlier for them. You know what I mean? So I was just thinking about location.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it worked. It is what it is. So, Candi, we spoke yesterday about on the Urban Sports Team podcast about Cliff Kingsbury being on demon time. You know what I'm saying? Is he first off? You know, we talked about first. I'm saying, what is he wearing? Because that was your indicator. That's your indicator. What was he wearing? I want to.
I should not be laughing this hard.
You know, I'm just saying. What is he wearing? Because you told me that was your indicator. Be on that mode. And we all, because we all know, and we talked about this. We all know that this matchup means a lot for him because it's him versus Ben Johnson. And at the end of the day, he wants to prove that he's better than Ben Johnson. So first off, we need to know, like, from his outfit, is he on demon time?
Yeah. Now it's not Arizona demon time.
All right.
Hey, Mom. I didn't even tell my mama where I was going to be. She knew I was going to be pregame. I've been having a rough week, so she's been trying to catch up with me.
Yeah, come on now. You can't do Mama Waller like that. I told you. We talked about this. We ain't doing Mama Waller dirty. We're not doing that.
That is how she's been catching up with me, is through TV and through shows. And so, hold on. Do y'all want to see? Come here real quick. I want people got to see you. They always love seeing you.
Hi.
Say hello. It's the GOAT, David Aldridge.
Look, I told you we got man, cameos, man. The great David Aldridge, man. Cameos, man.
I'm sorry, I'm being so rambunctious. What y'all ask me?
It's a demon time, man. Demon time.
Yes. He is absolutely on demon time. So it's not Arizona demon time. See, when he was on demon time in Arizona, trying to pay attention. You remember? I think I told you that was the week I learned a bit about him and just his personality. And so when he came in during arrivals, it was the dressed in all black, like that was bad. Yeah. I was like, ain't nobody out coaching him today. Okay. Here's the type of time. But I don't say anything till after the game because everybody's focused. I'm gonna act like I don't see him even though I see him. So it was the same kind of thing today. Well, but it was interesting because depending on how you look at the suit, if you look at the team arrivals, kind of looks a little blue silverish. Okay. Like the Detroit Lions colors. Is a different kind of shade of blue? And I said, is he implying that he owns them? Because right about now, that's what I think is about to happen. And that's just me being funny. That's just me being funny.
Hey, as long as we get the same
results. But at the same token, I do think it's important to bring up this very important point about Cliff Kingsbury as the requests for interviews have been coming out. Yeah. One thing that people need to pay attention to is the requests are being made. You've seen requests for Cliff Kingsbury. What you haven't seen is him actually do an interview.
Yeah. You said till the end of the season.
You've seen everybody else do interviews because they can. They can do the virtual. Yeah. They can do some of those, right? While they're still in season. And some of them have been in person as well. Mm-hmm. But it is a very important point if you're using your clues that he is this focused and locked in on where the team is going right now, where he is not even taking interviews. It doesn't mean if and when the season ends, right? Because the season's going to come to an end at some point, right? Yeah. Everything ends, because even if you make it to Super Bowl, the season's going to end at some point.
Yeah, exactly.
But the fact that he is not taking any interviews because he is locked in and focused on what's happening right now, Commanders fans, please pay attention to that. Yeah. That's a stand-up thing. That's a very stand-up thing.
I agree.
And it actually makes him more of a catch.
I agree. I think that was the thing that I like about him more than everybody else. He's that focused. He ain't worried about like interviews. That's at the end of the season. To me, I look at that as like that's how you do your job. That to me, to your point, I think when there are folks who take interviews or whatever during this time, especially you got the goal of winning a championship. Like, I don't like that. As a fan, that's not a good look to me. I don't care. But I think if you, like, focus and say, you know what, I'm going to handle that at the end of the season. Like, I respect you more, in my opinion. I respect that dude more because that just says that, he's focused at the task at hand. And I know after the season, if you want to wait for him, you wait. If you want him and you want to wait for him, then you have to wait towards the end of the season, and then you know the kind of guy you got. So I'm with you, Candi. I totally agree with you. When I heard that he was not taking interviews and he's waiting for the end of the season, I was like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I like.
But it also shows. But what it also shows too is it shows that how locked in he is to the guys, right? And he locked into this team. It's a respect factor to Dan Quinn and the rest of the staff that say, you know what, I'm here to do my job for this team and this organization right now, right? I'm gonna get mine. They talk brotherhood, right? You respect your brothers, you stay with your brothers, you stay tight with your brothers all the time. But you know, y'all guys talk about demon time and then you know how he's dressed Arizona. I hope they put up the same result they put up when Arizona comes right? Yeah. Because I think Arizona is one of the best games that he's called. There've been some games that's been shaky, been flimsy, but Arizona was the best game he called. If you look at Arizona, that's what I believe Arizona, if I'm not mistaken, was a game that we had 200-yard rushers, right? Arizona was a game where they ran the ball, they controlled the clock, and they had, and not only offensively, but defensively, they had Kyler Murray twisted up. So if they can do the same thing to Jared Goff today would be a great day.
I just think that, like, I think he's going to be overly. I think I mentioned the Ben Johnson thing. I think he's very motivated for this game because he's a guy in essence. You know, when we talk about interviewing for jobs, he's the one that he's against. You know what I'm saying? It's everybody looks at Ben Johnson as the guy that is the guru in terms of calling plays or the next offensive-minded head coach. That's what folks are kind of gravitating towards him. He's the top catch on the market, right? And now I'm sure Cliff, you know, from a distance, and I'm Candi, you can speak on this, but from a distance, like I look at Cliff Kingsbury as a big time competitor. I do. I can see it. I feel like I can kind of find those type of dudes, regardless of what you feel about Cliff Kingsbury. Like I feel like he's a competitor. I feel like he pays attention to that type of stuff. Like I'm like y'all say he the best. I'm gonna show you that I'm better. Like I feel like he has that type of he's on that type of mode to himself and maybe to folks around him that he's close with. Candi, do you get that like
absolutely?
That from him?
They're very, very, very competitive people.
Yeah,
ain't nobody laying down to nothing. And it's exactly right. Oh, this the best. This the best. Okay, let me show you.
Yeah.
Who's the best? Because here's the reality: when we talk Cliff Kingsbury, and then we got to also talk about Dan Quinn as well, because he's similar to this as well.
Nice. Oh, it's
because
true.
you got to talk about people who have been written off.
Yeah.
So Cliff Kingsbury was written off. Oh, he can't do this, not this, can't do this, can't do that, blah 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 blah. And then he took off, you know, and people was labeling him taking time off as him hiding. Hey man, this is a tough business.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta get your mind right. You gotta get your thoughts together. But one thing that was very compelling in what he shared in one of his pressers a couple of weeks ago, going back to the notion of him mentioning that he would want to be a head coach again one day, mentioning that he was going to wait until after this was, you know, finished, whenever that happened for the season, to think about what he was going to do. Like the fact that he said being here has brought back and rekindled his joy for football, his love for football.
I love
see what they do. He can't play in a football game, but I do want to see what they do. Because to your point, Glenn, that is one of the games that I brought up to Woe Late. It was the Arizona game. I said this game offensively for the whole offensive unit needs to bring. And when I went back and looked at some of my notes after that show, I kind of even thought about that second Eagles game, right? When it came to creativity. Right? Because I said when it came to efficiency and creativity, it needs to be, in my mind, it needs to be a combination of what happened in the Cincinnati game, the Bengals, Arizona, Tennessee, in that second half of the Eagles game. You know, when you talk efficiency and you talk creativity, right? I think so, but hey, you know, there were some plays and some things that happened last week that we hadn't seen before, so I'm sure a little bit of the same will happen. And they'll have to show that creativity if they want to control the time of possession, because if they do that, they'll be on the field longer.
Because he'll be in his bag, you know what I'm saying? Because when Cliff's in his bag,
he got to be in his zone. I mean, everybody take out the Jaden and just go ahead and be a maniac.
And you know, also the offensive line got to do their part too. And we saw, and the offensive line had recent struggles. The games that you mentioned, the Arizona game, the Philadelphia game, the Cincinnati game, the offensive line was intact and they did their jobs, right? Absolutely. They was able to get pushed when they needed to get pushed. They was able to protect Jaden as well. right? And so I think that is one of the things that has to happen today. This team has to establish a running game. They have to be able to, and also have to be able to protect Jaden Daniels. Even though Detroit is playing backups the last couple of weeks, Detroit defense has gone. They want a defense that's not like Tampa, but they will go after the quarterback, and they will try to get Jaden Daniels on the ground. So, I mean, I need Cliff to be able to disguise some things where he can give Jaden the time that he needs to roll out, or just run the ball down the throat.
You know, I make a joke all the time. I'll be like, the only person I know that's more of a maniac than Dan Campbell is Jaden Daniels. And this Lions team is actually a little. Sometimes you can't let people know you're afraid of them.
No, I'm with you.
And they've let it be clear that Jaden Daniels is a problem. And maybe because I see him all the time and every day. I mean, I know you're a problem, but it's still like, Jaden, you all right, But teams are really having to extra plan for him.
Mm-hmm.
And, last week they had like multiple spies on Jaden.
They did it like 2 spies on him.
So.
Yeah, and they did a good job last week for the most part.
And, just knowing stuff like that is like, wow, they really planning for this kid.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
they know time.
I mean, he's got to have earned a lot of respect around the league already, Jaden Daniels. I think we've seen that with the Pro Bowl voting and all that. I think everybody around the league is like, this kid is a serious player and is going to be one for a long time.
And he's a gem. He cool. He's a great. His parents have done an amazing job raising him. Seriously, he is a good human, a very good human, and everybody sees that too.
So, George, you want to ask Candi her final question before we have her?
Yes, I do, and it's this. What are the keys to Washington pulling out an upset victory as a huge underdog in Detroit?
Well, like what I said yesterday, help me out. I said, let me think, because I know I went through this right before I go to the airport. But I talked about the time of possession battle.
Yeah,
I talked about the time of possession. You all have heard me now consistently talk about the time of possession battle. I've been asked all week, what does the Commanders need to do to not be victim to this very aggressive Lions offense? I was like, keep them off the field. Because this Lions offense is going to execute, period. They're going to execute. They're very, very good. They're very good. Okay? And that's no shade to this defense. I'm going to get to them in a moment, but they're good.
Yeah.
Right? So,
Detroit's been putting up 30 and 40 on a lot of teams this year.
Right. But they have to control the time of possession. Because Jaden is special, and Felix is saying hello back there. Felix is saying hello.
What's going on, Felix? What's going on, homie?
Yeah, David Aldridge is coming and say hello, and now here's Felix. Let's see who else comes by. A lot of people are walking by, but I guess they're like, I'm not going to bother. Jaden, they need to do what they've done all season, and what everyone talks about the Washington Commanders' identity and who they are, but a lot of who they are is because of who Jaden Daniels is, right? So if he just is him, everybody's going to follow suit. We've all seen that all season long. So they need to do that. I'm going to keep talking about this 3 takeaway goal until they do it.
It would be the game for it, though. This would be the game for it.
Do it tonight.
Goodness.
I mean, you see the impact of a takeaway. Look at what happened last week when Bobby Baker got the fumble.
Yeah.
In excellent field position, got the ball back, scored a touchdown. Okay, that is an example of the complementary football that needs to happen, right? And you got to get to the quarterback early and often, but you have to create havoc. So if they are controlling the time of possession, being efficient on offense, if they are getting those takeaways, if anybody needs to be tired and exhausted tonight, let it be the offense, not because they got in a shootout. Don't want to see a shootout here. Do not want to see a shootout here, please. No. For everybody's, for mine, I guess I can't speak for everybody. So I just don't feel like dealing with all that tonight. Okay, she
don't want the stress, dog. She don't want the stress.
Last week,
I mean, she doesn't want to win as a shootout.
No, I think last week I was just like, riding the wave, so I wasn't really tripping.
Yeah.
But tonight, I think if they got in a shootout, I probably would be like, I'm gonna go sit under the table because I don't have confidence. It's like I want this to be over, and so I can't create any of my own chaos to get through it. But I think in special teams play has been excellent. But one thing we haven't seen the Commanders do is score touchdowns. If you can get a kick return for a touchdown, you can do things like that. I mean, it all helps, but that's it's like I have to be critical, and even in the moment, you don't want to be critical because it's like, man, this is I can't even believe they're in the divisional round of the playoffs for real, y'all. So we're just gonna go ahead and just ride this wave, and that's easier said than done because once the wave goes up, then you want to start directing the way you go on the wave, like wait. And so that's where I'm at with it. Offense, do what you do what got you here, do all the things, right? But defense, 3 takeaways is the goal. You really want to win this football game because the Detroit Lions are very, very good. They're very good. So, and that's no shade to them. They've had some time off. Sometimes time off doesn't help a team, but sometimes it does. So we'll see.
Totally agree. Hey, Candi, appreciate you being on. From Detroit, Ford Field, thank you. Like, you got his cameos out here, David Aldridge. Got to see my man say what's up to my man Felix from a distance. We appreciate this. We really do. Candi, before we let you go, how can folks catch you on social media? And how can they catch your content for Bowie TV as well in terms of when it airs and whatnot?
You will make sure you're subscribed to Bowie TV on YouTube, and make sure you follow me on X at CWall SE. You can also catch Bowie TV Sports on Instagram and X. You can follow me on Facebook at CWall Waller, CEO CWall on Instagram. So just, wherever. I'm not hard to find.
She's everywhere, y'all. She's everywhere. She's everywhere. Hey, and she's doing awesome work, and she's traveling from place to place, asking the banging questions as well. When it comes to pressers, you know what time it is when you see Miss Candi Waller out there in the building. So you already know. So make sure you always pull up to Bowie TV, pull up to any of her platforms because you're gonna get good content, and also you're gonna get the reels. That's the most important thing. All right, thanks, Candi. Appreciate you.
See y'all. Talk to you later.
All right, relax. Don't be all stressed out. All right, I know.
Yeah, I'm not. All right.
Don't be hiding under no tables too.
All right, bye, Candi.
Bye. Hey,
she sounded like my grandmother who used to walk out of the room when it would get tense with her.
Oh, that's me. I'm that person. I told y'all. I'll punch a hole in the wall if I get too far. I'll turn the TV and punch a hole in the wall. I am that person. This team has gotten me stressed out again. Hopefully, I'm hoping for a lot of things tonight, to be honest with you. Yeah. All right, but first off, let's go into stuff that Candi said. For you, Glenn, man, what stood out to you? What Candi said, what stood out to you?
What stood out to me was the Cliff Kingsbury situation. And I think you said it, and she said it. I need Cliff Kingsbury not to make this about him and Ben Johnson. Right? I need Cliff Kingsbury this is not your resume time. Right? This is not for you to show up Ben Johnson because you're Ben Johnson to play. This is for you to put the Washington Commanders in position to win a football game. Put Jaden Daniels in more comfortable positions. It's not about to show how smart you are. None of that stuff. It's about you showing that this team can run the offense that you put in. The gimmicks and all that other stuff. If you need it, that's fine. But to me, at this point, keep this bad boy simple. Control the ball like you did last week. 9-10 minutes on the clock drives, 10-15 minute drive. And every time you touch the football. And I know people can say this is a stretch. They need to be some type of points on the board, whether it's 7 or whether it's 3. The Washington Commanders need to score, in my eyes. And I know Candi said she don't want to be a shootout. I don't think it's going to be a shootout, but Washington needs to score every time they touch football.
Yeah, it got to be a shootout, but go ahead, though.
No, that's not going to be a shootout. I think this. Well, we'll get to the defensive side.
No,
later.
I'm with that. I'm with the shootout. I'm with the shootout.
I've seen some Detroit games this year, and there's been some teams that has stopped this offense.
Yeah, decent defenses.
Yeah, there were some good defenses there were decent defenses that stopped this offense, right? And so being able to watch this and be able to see, okay, this team may have an opportunity to do some things. I mean, the Bears did it early, right? The Bears was able to stop this team a little bit early on in the season.
They have better defensive players, though. But yeah, that's true.
But then to say, and vice versa, you saw when they played the Bills, who was a very good team, there was a shootout, right? 48-42. True. So again, you don't know which team's going to come out. When they played 49ers, it was 34-40, right? So again, shootout. So, and that's towards the end of the season. So I just need this team to be able to put points on the board. When Detroit score, this team needs to score. I agree with you, Paul.
I think they got sevens. I agree.
Yeah, I think all seven is good, but got to keep it that way. This team has to roll, and that's one thing I talk about Candi. Cliff Kingsbury can't make it about him, about the team.
What about you, George? What stood out to you about what Candi spoke of?
I mean, the Chris Rodriguez thing disappoints me. I won't lie. I don't know now how you can look at the production our running backs have given the last 2 weeks and not give him a chance. But she's right about. I disagree with her about the shootout thing because I feel like if this game is like 20-13, then Detroit's going to win. Because I just don't see us winning that kind of a game because we're not that kind of a team. I mean, I'll tell you this right now. If Washington holds Detroit to 20, we're winning the football game. I am convinced of that. I would be convinced of that. I'd be stunned if we held them 20, didn't win. But I'm with her on the turnovers. It's time for a multiple turnover game. I think we've only had one this year, if memory serves. Mm-hmm. It's time to give Jaden Daniels more than one short field. And I love what she said about special teams too, because she's right. And right before she said that, I just had a feeling I feel like this is a night where we're going to get a big kick return that might turn this football game. And you think about. And the last thing was the time of possession because before the refs got involved and made this about themselves, the Texans had a 10.5-minute drive to start the second half. And and they got a touchdown and the momentum was all on their side. And that, you might need one of those tonight. You might need a 9 or 10-minute drive and get in the end zone. But I hope we don't go crazy and just go for fourth down all the time because sometimes any points is better than no points.
So for me, is Daron Payne and what he's wearing. He's wearing like a cast of some sort she saw in practice. So I just kind of see how he can play with that and how he can, maneuver with that, using that. He hasn't been hurt all year. So obviously any type of like anything that you have that's going to be, that you have to maneuver with that's going to kind of can hinder you in terms of, pushing off or whatnot, trying to use leverage, him with the cast. And folks, we saw that the finger injury was nasty. So just to see how he can kind of maneuver with that, I think, when she said that, I was like, okay, it's going to be interesting to see. I'm going to be paying attention to see how he can, play with the cast. But yeah, Candi gave us great information. Now for you all, Candi gave us her keys for Commanders' victory. I'm going to start with you, George. Give us your keys for Commanders' victory.
Third and less than 6. Because even if this Detroit defense is still not very good, don't be putting yourself in situations where they can just tee off on this offensive line. Because unfortunately, what we've seen right now is that they struggle to protect the quarterback. I mean, the Dallas game, it was really bad. It was not as bad last week, but it wasn't great either. Agreed. So keep this thing in third and 4, third and 5, third and 6 or less, and just keep moving those chains. Zach Ertz, I think this is a big game for him tonight. And it's going to be a big game based on that. Not necessarily touchdowns for Zach Ertz, but making those catches and converting third down into first down. I think that's for me because I'm right with her when she talks about time of possession. It's going to be critical. That offense can't get into rhythm if they have to sit on the sideline for 7.5, 8 minutes at a time in terms of game time.
No, I'm with you. George. Glenn, what about you, bro? What's your keys? What are your keys for a Commanders victory?
One of my keys for a Commander victory tonight is to keep, George said it towards the end, to keep the Detroit Lions offense off the field. The way you do that is you got to run the ball. You got to be able to control the clock. You also have to be, we just mentioned it, you got to be able to punch it into the end zone. One thing I do disagree with George about, he said it earlier, I want him to go for it on 4th and 1s, especially in the red zone, because I think you need 7s. I think you need 7s here. Now, if it's manageable, if it's like I don't give you a kicker a 55-yard field goal. You know what I'm saying? Give you a kicker a 30-yard field goal, 20-yard, 3-yard field goal, something of that nature, or try to punch it in. I think this team also has to do defensively. You have to be able to stop the run, and you also got to be able to stop the play action. Right? I think if you can stop the run, then you can stop the play action. If the run happens a lot, play action is coming, right? Amon St. Raw is going to have a good day, right? Tight end is going to have a good day. So you have to be able to stop the run. I think that is key for this team. I think this is why Deron is playing, Payne is playing. So to me, the key to victory for the Washington Commanders is stop the run and make Jared Goff beat you.
I wouldn't say, all right, so my keys. I'm going to use a little bit. I'm not going to say stop the run because I just feel like Washington hasn't stopped the run all year.
When I say stop it, I mean contain. I don't need 20 yards. I don't need 30 yards.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm just going to tailor it for my keys. I'm going to say contain the run. Like I feel like contain the run. Like don't let it be like, granted, like they shut him down in the second half, but don't make it look like what Saquon was doing in the first half. Like don't have it look like that early when we played the Eagles. Like contain it. Like I'm not saying you're going to completely shut down Jahmyr Gibbs and they got Montgomery back. Like I'm not saying you're going to do all of that, but at least get them in 3rd and long. Try to get them in 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7. That way, because Drew be told, like if you get them in 3rd and 2, Ben Johnson is unique enough alone he'll run the ball. It's not like an automatic pass. 3rd and 3, he'll run the ball. So he's not conventional in any stretch of the imagination. So you do want to kind of put it to a point where you have a good idea what they're going to do in terms of pass run. So I just feel like get them in 3rd and 6. And if you're Washington, I don't care what you like. We've all seen I would like run the ball. Yeah, I would love them to be able to run the football, but I'm not going to make that my guarantee key. I would say just get into 3rd and 3. Get into like what George is talking about. Get in 3rd and manageable because then you got Jaden as a threat to run for a first down. You can do the screen game that can be countered as your run. I think you can do that because right now we haven't been the strongest run team at the moment. But I do feel like if we, get into 3rd and short, we'll be okay. Like, but once he starts to get 3rd and long, knowing Aaron Glenn and knowing how aggressive that defense is, they're gonna bring the house. You know what I mean? So I wasn't happy with our protection last week. I thought Coleman was kind of like, so I just feel like if we can get them in 3rd and 3, 3rd and 2. 3rd and 4, you know what I mean, to a point where, all right, now that's more manageable for Jayden to do his thing. I feel like that's the key. Lastly, the time of possession, man. Like Washington wins football games, they do they do work. When they had those long drives, we knew when Jayden had the ball that last drive, he was going to drain all that clock because that's what Washington does when they're about to score. That's what they do. They got to do that throughout, even when they go up and hurry up. And they raise the tempo. When they do that, that's still they are still winning the time of possession, even within all that. Normally, people think when you're going up tempo, you're scoring fast, but that's not Washington. They go up tempo and they'll give you a long drive. They have those long drives like we saw against Arizona, like we saw against Cincinnati, like things like that. This game could be won any which way because then again, to what we're all talking about, you can keep that offense off the field. Like you can keep the Lions off the field. So I think it's very important that Washington, I think if anything, that's the main thing. Like the main thing is to win the time of possession. Because I can go with like if they're running okay, that's fine. But they may not be on the football field long enough to exploit that. You know what I mean? So win that time of possession, do what Washington does, and they should be in the game. And this is really my last one for real. Make sure this game is tight. Because when this game is tight and the favorites are up, and the favorites, and the favorites typically they feel that pressure. They feel all that pressure. And when they feel that pressure, you can get the Jared Goff to like get tensed up in the moment. Like make sure this game is like this game is supposed to be quote unquote a blowout, right? Make sure in the 4th quarter this game is tight. If you're up or wherever, if it's close in that 4th quarter, man, I'm telling you, favorites tend to choke in playoff games like this. So if I'm Washington, I'm keeping it close.
Well, I want to add something else. This team has to take advantage of opportunities. We saw for several weeks in the last couple of weeks, we saw this team where there was times where they could have had interceptions where they could have had fumbles and they didn't take advantage, right? We saw Luvu drop one. We saw different players drop interceptions. So they have to take, when that ball hits your hand, if Jared Goff gives you one, you got to catch it, right? If the one's on the ground, you have to get it. So at the end of the day, this team can't have opportunities slip out of their hands, right? Yo, talking about my energy, dog. I've been at 8. I've been up since 4:30 this morning. 4:30 this morning at a wrestling tournament. I bust my butt to get this bad boy here. So look, I'm gonna be up for this game. I'm gonna energy. I was texting now. We will definitely be up. The yawn ain't gonna stop. The energy's gonna hit. It's natural.
Y'all be easy, man. My homie been coaching. Like I've been coaching all day too. I had a basketball game, but I'm tired. I'm tired too. So baby. I took some green tea to give me some energy. So my guys good. We get this.
But they really do. We talk about turnovers, but this team has had opportunities to have turnovers, but they missed them. And I'm talking about balls hitting people in their hands, dropping stuff like that. And this team also, this team has to be able to get sacks. For the last several games, this team hasn't really had multiple sacks on quarterbacks. This team had really put pressure on the quarterbacks, right? This team has to be able to get to Jared Goff, rattle him early. Because the same Jared Goff that had 5 touchdowns had 5 interceptions this year as well.
That's right.
In a game. So that's the type of Jared Goff that we need to see, that 5 interception Jared Goff, and this team can win the game.
I totally agree, man. Totally agree. Well, yeah, so y'all give me your predictions, man. I'm gonna start with you, Glenn. Give me your prediction.
Yo, I'm going prediction tonight, man. I'm gonna say not gonna be a shootout. I'm gonna say 28-31. All right, 28-31 Washington. Okay, not a shootout, but I think Washington and it won't come down to the last second play. So the 31 is gonna be half before it's gonna come down to Detroit having to get a touchdown towards the end.
Yeah, Todd said Fowler gotta have a big game. Needs to have a big game. Yeah, he do.
I'd call that final score shootout, but that's just me because
I would too, though. But it's close enough.
I don't call 31 shootout, man. Because 31 to me is not a shootout because most teams they're reaching their average.
All right, that's
Washington's average is around 29-30 points a game.
Okay, that's fair. All right, what about you, bro? George, what's going on?
I'm going with another late show from Jaden Daniels. Him leading us to a game-winning touchdown in the last 10, 15, 20 seconds. Again, I'm going 35-31 Washington.
You already know what I'm doing, man. We on the streak with it. So my man Mike in here to give me a hard time. So what's up? I got 34-30 Detroit, man. So
that's right.
So
for the culture.
I'm doing it for the team. I'm doing it for the culture, man. I'm doing it for the Commanders culture, man. You know what I'm saying?
George, I love to see that. I would love to see 45, right?
Man,
I love to see dope. That would be dope. I love to see 41.
Oh, wow, that would be wild if they put up.
I got some scores on y'all. I like it though. I like it.
You'll love it.
I love it, man. That would give me I wouldn't have a heart attack. I wouldn't be stressed out.
Yo, hey, if that happens, this show gonna be lit in the post game. I'm telling y'all now.
I'm telling you. I already told y'all. Like y'all already know.
We may stay on this bad boy till 2:00 in the morning.
I don't know if folks keep getting. I don't know. Like on the Urban Sports Center show, I already told folks what I'm gonna do if we win. So it's not. I'm just letting y'all know.
42-10 to San Diego. That's what I'm saying. 42-10 was 41. It was 41-10 last time they met. Am I correct, George?
That's right. 41-10 in the NFC Championship game. Yeah. That's right.
I'm just gonna let y'all know, man. The world does not. The world does not.
Off. If they went in there and beat them like that, oh my God, the lid would be just totally off.
The world don't want to see me if this happens.
I'm booking my ticket for New Orleans.
What? What? Hey, man. Earl, man, 35-34 Commanders. Man, I mean, that's a shootout for real. Yeah, man, the world don't want to see me if we win. That's all I'm saying. Like, it won't be a good look. Mr. Going DA says, bro, if we score 40 points and beat Detroit, I'm coming on the post game shirtless. Man, I have to run me on there. Hey, man, folks gonna be showing themselves if that score happens, man.
Yo, Diaz, you be like, be half naked talking about for life.
For life.
He's gonna be like this.
Yeah, folks are
doing the Hulk Hogan pose.
You walking out like this.
Yeah, folks are going to be on one, bro. Andre, hey, go ahead. Yeah, you got to relax. Andre Black, though. We turned the city back to what it was when Andre Black was in these streets. Hey, Andre Black look, ayo.
If you know, you know.
Hey, if you know, you know. But have you seen him recently? Oh God.
I heard he blew up like a balloon, didn't he?
Yeah, he sure did. It's hooping in the league. I was like, I don't know what is going on, my man Andre Black. Yo, we playing with house money. I agree, George. We ain't supposed to be here. We throwing the kitchen sink out there tonight. I agree, bro.
That's right.
I agree, bro. We doing that. We definitely are. All right, so y'all give me start with you, George. Give me your fantasy player for the night, man. For the Commanders.
It's Zach Ertz. I think a lot of catches, a lot of yards, maybe not a lot of touchdowns, although you can see a few of those too because he's been a great red zone weapon for us. But Zach Ertz for me tonight.
Dope, man. Zach Ertz. All right, Glenn, what's your fantasy player for the night?
I think this guy gonna redeem himself. Everybody talking about Montgomery. Everybody talking about all these other running backs.
I need to go back. I knew he's gonna do it. Go ahead.
I'm going back. Gotta go back, man. I think
you are. I knew you were.
I think this is the night that we see more B-Rob because everybody been talking about B-Rob this, B-Rob that, and I think this is the night that you'll see Brian Robinson Jr. break out. Break out for B-Rob
Let's
tonight.
hope so. God.
I hope, man. I hope. You know what, man? I feel like. You know what? Forget it, man. You know, he had a good week last week. I like this name. That's why I'm going to use it because he has the same name I'm going to use. Diami. I like that. Yes. Darnell had it. You know, Diami. And Taj put the name out there, too. I think Diami going to have another good game, man. I think he's going to have another big game. I feel like this is a game for him to show out because everybody's going to pay attention to Terry, especially how light Detroit is on the defensive side of the ball in that secondary. I just think that you're going to worry about Terry, and it gives room for somebody like Diami to show out. And you can see, I can see Olamide doing some work too. So I'm not gonna act like I can't see that too. Darnell says, I just want us to be competitive, and if we win, that's the icing on the cake. 35-28 Commanders. But yes, I totally agree with you, Diami. He said, same thing. Diami. Oh, Paul got Diami 8 grabs, 101 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Hey, Paul, you got him look like a number 1. Damn, that's number 1 number. Paul, you
Paul, like,
Paul,
this.
Know what, Paul?
I
love it though, man. I love it. I love it, bro. If that's what it is, I'm with it. But you got him looking like that, though, Paul. All right.
Yo,
I ain't mad at you, though. Hey, Paul, I ain't mad at you, though. I ain't mad at you
neither, man.
I ain't mad at you.
Hey, let him keep shining. And look, he's Cliff Kingsbury's toy, man. He's Cliff Kingsbury's toy. Let him keep shining in the playoffs.
All right, I agree. Hey, y'all, man. It's on weekend. We're approaching game time, but don't forget to tune into our post-game show directly after the game. We'll be on YouTube and IG Live. We'll also be streaming on the Urban Sports Scene X account. You can also subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and other podcast platforms. Just search all Burgundy and go Errything. Also tweet us at ABG_Errything. Hit us up on IG and TikTok at ABG_Errything. Make sure you subscribe to our All Burgundy and Go Errything YouTube channel as well. And when you pull up, man, I'm going to be looking out for them super chats, homie. I ain't going to hold y'all. I'm going to be looking out for them. Because if it's going to be lit, then I'm going to have to prioritize some certain comments, y'all. If it's going to be lit like I think it's going to be, because I'm thinking a certain way. If I'm thinking a certain way, you know what time it is, y'all. Y'all already know what time it is. All right, anyway, you've been listening to All Burgundy and Go Errything, powered by the Urban Sports Scene and Fox Sports Radio, 96.9 FM at 1340 AM, Hopewell, Virginia. For ages, you dig? Deuces. Hey, y'all, we are out. Let's go, Commanders.